Okay, here we have Johnny, and he's busy pruning a tree. It takes fairly big branches, but the tree does need a really good haircut. Now we're going to gather these branches and we're going to just drop them into a ring that we've made for the cattle. These are the trees in this field that all need a good pruning. Now, ideally you want to keep your trees, get them grow to this size here where there's lots of growth, and then prune them. Far more economical and far more food when one actually does it like this. This is a tree that was pruned about 3 weeks ago, and it's bouncing back quite nicely. A lot of new growth. And these are trees that are more recently pruned. If you look at them, it's quite an aggressive pruning, and this tree is quite a good example. We'll take all those top branches off over there. If you have a look here, you'll see how thick these stems actually do grow. This is a little field that we haven't grazed for several months now, and you can see how the grass has come back nicely as well. But there's so much growth here, and there's a few thousand trees in this field. I used to graze these trees directly, but especially from the sheep used to graze them, and it took quite a hammering. So a lot of them are quite dwarfed trees, because I just used to graze them relentlessly. But having left them now, if you just look, this is all new growth, and that's going to be wonderful. Once they get grazed, they're going to really bounce back so nicely. Here again is another little field of trees that have been pruned, and here we've let the sheep graze, and we just drop the branches on the ground and they eat all the leaf material off. The nice thing about it is that the branches create nice shelter from the sun for the grasses, and then the grasses perform much better. It's just a more temperate environment for the grasses. Here we have a Leucaena standing next to a lucerne tree, just so that you can see the contrast of the tree. Here I have Leucaenas that I have kept out just for seed. They're really big trees, and their sole purpose are for seed, but then also obviously once we've harvested all the seeds, we do prune them. This ideally is how you establish them, really dense like this, close up to one another, and you're not really going to let them grow that tall. They're going to be browsed. When you browse it, it becomes a bush like this one with many little stems on it. Now, I began videoing Johnny about less than 5 minutes ago, and the tree is about 70% pruned, and from one tree this is all the material we're gathering, so it really does produce a lot. And in about 4 or 5 months this tree will have regrown all of this again. Here's an example of some really nice big trees growing, and some more trees over here. And here we have some really nice trees growing. So much food you gather off them if you let them grow to a size. Right, so now we've got back to Johnny, and this is what the tree looks like, completely shaved. And so now we will just load all the material onto the back of the bucky and go feed the cows. And there we have it. It's about 10, maybe 15 minutes work, and we've got a nice load of green feed for the animals. So this is our ring or our square that we built, and here all the dry twigs, they really just finish this off. there's nothing left on it. You know, we clean it out, and then we stack it again here, and it's really just beautiful green sugar for the animals. So there you have it, 15 minutes of pruning and a nice cage full. Now if you've got more animals, you obviously can do 2 trees at a time. You know, you won't go through a season and you won't have finished all, you'll go through a season, you won't have finished pruning all the trees, that's for certain.